This is just a short video on how to go about passing CFA Level 1 and CFA Level 2. I did fairly well in those exams. I scored near the 90th percentile for Level 1 and at the 90th percentile for Level 2, both on the first attempt. That sounds like a bit of a brag, which I guess it is, but it's more just to demonstrate that this approach worked for me quite well, and I'm no genius. So hopefully it'll work for you too. First of all, I'd like to say I didn't use any of the third-party providers of material. I purely just used what CFA provide by default. So that included the textbooks, the mock exams, and the online portal they have there. Also, the CFA material is quite long-winded. It's not the most enjoyable read sometimes. And I read through everything once. I didn't go over all of it again more than once. So yeah, don't spend your time rereading those textbooks too often. The main thing you have to do is practice those questions. Practice them all the time. Like every day, practice some questions. If you're just doing reading, that's not good enough. I mean, maybe near the beginning when you're just getting through the textbooks, but after that, after your first read through, every day you need to be doing questions. Repeating those questions, and closer to the exam time, you'll get mock exams and you can repeat those too. So that's really the core principle, is don't spend your time on the textbooks and highlighting everything in different colors. So, color coding different places in the textbook or putting little sticky notes there. I don't think that works for me. That could work for you, but again, I'm just telling you what worked for me. And don't give up. So it's a long journey for the CFA exams. It's very drawn out, it seems sometimes. But if you just lose heart a little bit, say you don't perform very well in a mock exam, that happened to me, and I gave up for 2 weeks, but I got back into it, and I still came away with a nice result at the end. So first of all, you're going to have to do some planning, even though what I'm telling you now has a little bit of a plan there, but you may have your own plan that you have in mind, or you could add to my plan to help you out. You want to identify how many hours you plan to do per week, and does that add up to what you estimate you'll need to pass the exam. I know there's that figure going around, which is 300 hours. I probably did more than that, 300 hours. And for some of it, I recorded that time as well. So I'd be using the Windows timer every week. Say put a countdown there for 15 hours for a week, and just press play on that every time I was studying, and pause it when I stopped studying, and hopefully I get close to that 15 hours per week. I didn't every week, and some weeks I try for 20. Set your aspirations high, and hopefully you'll reach somewhere near it. It's pretty demanding. Life is demanding. Jobs, family, the rest of it can impinge, which is why you should start very early. I always started as early as possible. That's cheaper. You get that registration discount, and you have more time to study. So definitely get in there early. Another point is to record yourself. Record your progress in terms of your answers to each of those questions at the back of the book. I didn't focus too much on the examples in Level 1 and Level 2. I focused mainly on those end of chapter questions, and I had a spreadsheet that would track the main topic, the subtopics, the page number for the questions, the page number for the answers, the correct answer, and then my attempt, and then my second attempt, my third attempt, etc. So then I could see, how consistent am I at getting that question right or wrong, which ones am I really struggling with. I could turn that data into a pivot to figure out which subject area I'm really struggling with. And those page numbers there just help you go straight to the correct page without having to look at the index. Saving time anywhere you can really helps. Using your time efficiently is very important. So that spreadsheet, that data would help me pinpoint those areas that I have trouble with. I might reread that section of the textbook, but never the whole textbook. So again, it comes back to repeating. I'll go back to timing. Timing, I also timed myself on each question for Level 2. Not for Level 1, but the idea came to me in Level 2 that sometimes I'm getting the answer right, but it's taking way too long. Or I'm thinking it's taking way too long. But timing really helps you understand exactly how long are you taking, and is it too long for that question. Some questions just do take more time. So don't get hung up on whether you're getting that answer done in under 3 minutes. But if you think it's kind of a small question and you're spending 7 minutes on it, perhaps it's time to revise those formulas, get that formula in your head so you can recall it faster, or just try and understand the material better. Right. So again, repeating is very important. So repeat all those questions, repeat the mock exams, but also as you're going through your textbook and the questions, you should be writing down the difficult concepts and the difficult formulas you're having trouble to remember. So you want to have a nice list of formulas and concepts that you can write out. Don't write them all out every day, but at least spend half hour a day writing out these formulas. So eventually they'll stick in your head. What I did is first of all stored them on a spreadsheet, but later on I transferred them or wrote them down on a physical piece of paper. What I'd have is a prompt or a hint as to what the formula or concept is about on one side of the paper, and then on the other half would be the actual formula and the concept. So then I could take another piece of paper and cover up that half of the answer and write my attempt on top and pull it aside and see if I got it right. Something like that, a concept like that could work for you too. We've got strict timing, we've got record keeping, repeating the questions a lot, focusing on the troubling the areas that you struggle with, and repeat a lot. Try and do 15 hours a week, push for 10. 10 should be your minimum, in my opinion, unless you're a genius. But if you're watching this video, perhaps you're not. Now, for the exam, I had a quiet night beforehand for both of those exams. I had to travel to another city, and I had the room to myself, the hotel room, and I would just relax. I was just relaxing, watching TV for that night. Got to bed fairly early and slept fairly well. And I think that the huge amount of preparation really helps, just relax that stress as well. So that's another benefit of getting in early and doing all the hours. In the morning, I spent some time revising on the difficult formulas, the ones that I really struggled with, make sure that they stay in my head. And caffeine was my friend, and also some sugary, carb-heavy type food for both breakfast and lunch. And I think that should set you right for the exam. So repeat the questions all the time, every day. Write out formulas all the time. Try for the 15 hours a week. Do over 300 hours. Don't spend your time on the textbook so much. And you should be set. Best of luck for the exam, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comments.